Good morning, Unity family. I'm Deborah Giddings, and I am the leader of the Prayer Chaplain Sacred Service Ministry, and I'm delighted to be with you here today. As we get started, I just want to invite you to go ahead and go up to our website, unityhartford.org. You can download today's bulletin. There are the words to a couple of the songs are up there. So take a few minutes, greet each other, and we're going to have the lovely Carolyn just play us in. And thank you so much, Carolyn. Again, good morning. I'm Deborah Giddings. I am the Prayer Chaplain Ministry Lead, and I am delighted to be with all of you here today, and so happy that you're with us. In the sanctuary with me today, we have, of course, the fabulous Carolyn Fisher. You saw her on the piano. And we have Tony Bensko, who is the office manager, now filling in as the sound master. And through the magic of Zoom, we will be welcoming Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, who is our guest speaker today, as Reverend Christine gets to have a Sunday off. Reverend Hasselbeck is a well-known metaphysics teacher, speaker, and author. In fact, many of you may be familiar with his book, Heart-Centered Metaphysics. And today, his talk is titled, Let Go of My Ego. So again, if you want, you can obtain today's bulletin from our website, unityhartford.org. And let's join together in saying our opening statement, that unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And here at Unity, we welcome, value, and include all people. So welcome to all of you this morning. And anytime during today's service, let us know you're here with the comments. Greet each other, send an emoji. And throughout the service, you will be hearing from our prayer chaplains as they let you know that they are here, holding sacred space, and all of you in prayer. We have lit our Christ candle, so join me in prayer as we turn to the Christ light within and affirm that we are willing and ready to be changed at depth. Christ is the web, the energy, the space, the light. And in that knowingness, we affirm that we are not just citizens of one another or a nation, but of the human and cosmic community, one with God and one with all. We are a peaceful presence. And so it is. Amen. So I have a few announcements for you, and I'd love if you would join us every Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock for our 30-minute healing meditation service right here on Facebook. It's a really great way to just slow down, come into the moment, become mindful, just be. Now tomorrow night, our class 12 Spiritual Powers, which is held on Monday nights from 6:30 to 8:30, we're beginning our third week, and it's not too late to join us. This has been an amazing class to learn how these spiritual faculties can be used and are used in and through our lives. This week, we're going to delve into our powers of judgment or wisdom, love and power. Now, you must pre-register to get the Zoom link, and all the information in the registration link is on the front page of our website, unityhartford.org. So sign up today and join us tomorrow night. Carolyn, I think it's now time for our opening song.
Wonderful.
What is it you're going to be singing today?
We are going to release and let go together.
Thank you, Carolyn. I release and I let go. What a great way to start the day. So now we're going to say our statement of faith. And I'm going to say a phrase and then ask you to repeat it with Carolyn. There is only one presence and one power.
There is only one presence and one power.
Active as the universe and as my life.
Active as the universe and as my life.
God, the good, omnipotence. Amen.
God, the good, omnipotence. Amen.
Thank you. So I'm going to read today's daily word, and the word for today is will. The affirmation is spiritual understanding guides my will. Each day I use my will to make decisions big and small that affect the quality and direction of my life. Through the use of my human will, I may make choices out of fear or a sense of lack, or I may be driven by my desire for convenience, comfort, or the pleasures of the moment. The use of my spiritual will, however, directs my choices toward a greater awareness of my divine nature. As I grow spiritually, I use my will to shine my Christ light even more brightly. I grow in willingness to co-create with God as I release my willfulness to do everything on my own. As I live more intentionally from my divinity, the light of spiritual understanding dawns within me and directs my will. And from Joshua 1, verse 9, I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Let's just take this affirmation into just a moment of silence. And take a breath in. Spiritual understanding guides my will. Spiritual understanding guides my will. And so it is. All right. So now, as we said earlier today, we have Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck as our guest speaker. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck is one of Unity's leading metaphysics authorities and has had a major role in bringing Unity's metaphysics into the 21st century. With a genuine passion for clarity, precision, and making Unity teachings understandable, Reverend Paul teaches and speaks around the United States and internationally. Reverend Paul is the author of several books, and his most recent book is Use the Truth You Know, Unity's Principles and Premises. To find out more about Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck, his books, and his works, visit his website at www.paulhasselbeck.com. Now join me in welcoming Reverend Paul as I move the camera.
Greetings, Unity of Greater Hartford. This is the Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. I am delighted and honored to be with you this morning. And thank you, Christine, for having invited me. A couple things. Just as if I was with you in person, I will sometimes be looking at you, sometimes at my slides. Sometimes I read them, and when I read them, feel free to read them to yourself with me, or even out loud. And here are a few more things. Simply relax, sit back, enjoy yourself. If you don't have your smartphone out, get it out, because I want you to take pictures of the slides you like. There's no test, so you can relax. You're not going to be examined on any of this. And all I really want you to do is understand and integrate, if possible, what I'm saying. And you can always get the slides from me by emailing me at alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. And I'll provide a set of the slides to Reverend Christine also. So here we go. Let's start romping. So I titled this, Leggo My Ego. Let go my ego. Because over time, I was taught that the ego was bad, and I was told to let go of it. At other times, I noticed like people were trying to get a hold of my ego, or at least criticizing my ego by saying, oh, Paul, that's just your ego. Or Paul, get control of your ego. And many, many other things, and you have probably experienced this too. So, these are the sorts of things we were taught. Warning, your ego is not your amigo. And I was taught this in many spiritual traditions, that somehow my ego or my personality or my human self was inferior and not good. And I think in the Unity movement, what we've done is, since we didn't have a devil or a Satan to blame things on, we decided to blame something on the ego. And we talk as if it's different or separate from ourselves. So the ego in Unity has often become the new devil. And there's also this. The ego is edging God out. Edging God out. And aren't you, and aren't I grateful that that is a metaphysical impossibility? Sure, when I'm focused elsewhere, I may not be giving any attention or importance to God or my innate divinity, but it's always there. It can never, ever be edged out. And so what this talk is really about is to share about the adverse ego and the good side, your supported ego. And you need a supportive ego because if you didn't have that part, you would be like a boneless chicken on this boneless chicken ranch. And I love this wonderful cartoon by Gary Larson, how the boneless chickens are just limp over the side or over the fence or on the ground. We need our ego in this world we live in. And so Charles Fillmore defined the ego this way. The personality or ego is the sum total of characteristics that each person has personalized as distinct of himself or herself. Yes, each of us makes up our personality or ego. It's basically nothing more than a bag of beliefs about ourselves. Some of them good, some of them bad. And Charles called the bad ones the adverse ego. And he said this: when the ego attached itself to sense consciousness, it builds the Antichrist. And if you were like me, I was told the Antichrist was the very worst thing that we could hear or talk to or whatever that Antichrist was in my traditional religions. And he goes on to say, it is the adverse ego that causes all the trouble in the world. And by the way, all the trouble in my life and all the trouble in your life. And he said the ego's selfishness and greed make us grovel in the mire of materiality. That's because of sense consciousness. When we might soar in the heavens of spirituality. And I don't know about you, I don't want to grovel. I want to soar. And then this is another definition of the ego Charles gave. It's the I. The ego is man, and by reason of his divinity, he makes and remakes as he wills. Wow, did you notice that? That within the ego, there is divinity. There is our divineness. There is our divine nature. And that's because we couldn't even be making up an ego if we weren't divine, because we use divine ideas and principles unskillfully to create the beliefs about ourselves that are negative. And haven't you noticed, you make and remake yourself over time. And then Charles went on to say, in this lie his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. So, from our ego, because we are divine, we can do great things and we can do not so great things. So, I amp this up into more current language. So, the ego is you and I. And by reason of our divinity, we make and remake as we will. We make and remake ourselves as we will. And in this lie our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. And then he goes on to say in this amazing quote, through the door of its consciousness, through the door of the consciousness of the ego, must pass all the treasures of God. Now that is a powerful statement. So what are those treasures? Those treasures are the divine ideas or principles that we already have. And so I amped up this one too. Fillmore goes on to say, through the door of our consciousness, through the door of your consciousness, through the door of my consciousness, must pass all the principles that God is. You see, Charles defined God as the universal principle which contains all principles. And if we believe God is within us or in us some way, then we must believe that principle which contains all principle is fundamental and innate in us. And then, in Atom Smashing Power of Mind, Charles said this: principles are divine ideas and are potential forces waiting to be set in motion through proper formative vehicles. The thinking and feeling faculties in us are such vehicles. Think about that. Divine ideas and principles don't do anything. However, they are loaded with potential forces, which must be activated by you and I, using our thinking and feeling nature. You see, you are the point of power in your life. And then Charles and Cora said this: we should affirm with conviction those mighty words uttered by Jesus. All authority hath been given unto me in heaven and on earth. And let me tell you, Charles was really, really rabid about us using the very words of Jesus, because he believed they had power, that they had built up power over the ages. So, all authority hath been given unto me in heaven and on earth. And so, usually when I hear heaven and earth, I usually quickly go here and then correct myself. When I hear heaven, I think of that place outside, and we know in unity we don't believe that. And when I read earth, I almost always think of the planet Earth and don't really metaphysically interpret it. However, let's do that now. So this little mini metaphysical interpretation, Charles said this, let me see, in the revealing word under heaven and earth, two states of mind, the ideal and the manifestation. One, heaven, is the realm of pure ideas. The other, earth, of thought forms. So you see, our thought forms are manifestations we create from the ideal. Interesting, isn't it? And so now this becomes, all authority hath been given unto me in the realm of pure ideas and in thought forms. Have you ever thought about that? And so, join me in knowing this. I am master of divine ideas in thought form. Let's say that again. I am master of divine ideas and thought forms. Because, friends, that is fundamentally true. Okay, let's see how we're made up then. So we are said to be threefold beings: spirit, soul, and body. Where spirit is our divinity, where soul is our ego or personality, and of course our body is our body. And so at the core of our beingness is our divinity. And then layered on that is who we think we are, who I think I am, and who I'm afraid I am. And because I'm afraid I am, these beliefs, these things I hold true about myself, which really aren't true, I pretend to be somebody else. And why do I do that? I pretend to hide up or hide my beliefs about myself that are adverse or negative. And that's because I'm afraid. I'm afraid if you found out about those, you would run away. You would not love me anymore. And then, when we run into somebody who's really spiritual, we create another layer. I call it the spiritual icing, because it can get pretty gooey and sticky sometimes. However, this is an important part in our spiritual path, in our growing our awareness of our divinity. And so what we do is we see somebody who is demonstrating a high spiritual life. We look at what they say, what they do, and then we put it on like an overcoat. And we try it on for size to see how it fits. But don't be fooled. If somebody crosses you, if someone cuts you off in traffic, pretty soon you will have forgotten about that, and you'll be back in your adverse ego. You won't even be in your supportive ego. So all of this stuff we could call ego, or another term, personality. And then in spiritual traditions, we also talk about our higher self. And our higher self is sometimes called our divinity, but really it's beliefs about ourselves derived from those divine ideas at the highest possible consciousness we can do it. And then, of course, we got to put the body in here, so I put it down here. So we are spirit, we are mind, or ego, or personality, and we are body. So, why? So what? So let's look at a few things. First, as personalities, as people, we interact with people all the time. So what's up with relationships? So we're told, I was told, that I'm a half and I'm looking for my other half. In fact, we often refer to our partners as the other half, don't we? And the belief is, if I find my other half, if you find your other half, you'll be whole, you'll be complete. You're one unit. However, is that really how it is? Well, Well, I say, when my half meets your half, it's not additive. It's multiplied. And a half times a half gives rise to a fourth. So when people feel incomplete, meet other incomplete people and enter a relationship, you usually end up with a relationship that is less than half. And if you're like me, you've experienced this sometime in your life. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to realize your wholeness, to realize your divinity. Since relationships are multiplicative, if I'm living from my highest potential and you're living from your highest potential and we get together, 1 times 1 is 1. So our job is to become aware of those adverse part of our egos and heal them, transform them, and maybe disempower them, I hope, and to only see the wholeness in your partner. See beyond their flaws. See beyond their foibles. And so how do we do this? So Charles said this in Christian Healing. Little by little, we cast out the specific thoughts that have accumulated and built up in the false state of consciousness. And that's mainly our adverse ego. There are specific thoughts and specific beliefs related to it. And part of our journey is to become aware of those, and then once aware of them, to eliminate them. And just as an aside, that's what the 12 powers are for. The 12 powers are 12 principles or 12 divine ideas. They're to be used to raise our consciousness. Okay, so how do we do it? Well, always we want to invest time in meditation and prayer. Secondly, claim your divinity now. I am divine. Say that. I am divine. We got to claim it so we can live more fully into it. And then realize your ego is nothing more than a bag of beliefs. And those are both good beliefs and bad beliefs. Embrace your supportive ego. It's your creation after all. In fact, your entire ego is your creation. It's something you are making and remaking all the time. And remember, you can do that because of your divinity. And then stop giving your adverse beliefs importance and power. After all, you do not get a higher life by empowering your lower parts, right? So this is all about empowering the best parts of ourselves. And then the process involves transforming or releasing those adverse beliefs that don't support your divinity. So friends, you are, I am, fully divine and also fully human. It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? And because of our divinity is unchangeable, we are both unchangeable and changeable. And because our divinity is infinite and my humanity is finite, we are infinite and finite. So I created this affirmation. I am wondrously infinite in finite ways. I am wondrously infinite in finite ways. Say it with me and feel it. I am wondrously infinite in finite ways. And so you are, and so I am, and so it is. Amen. And thank you for listening to me today. And have another beautiful day in your consciousness.
All right. Well, thank you, Reverend Paul Hasselbeck. What an amazing service. Sorry, folks, as I move the camera back. What an amazing talk. I am finite in infinite ways. How beautiful. You notice he mentioned the 12 powers. It's still not too late to sign up for that class. So join us on Monday nights. Go up to our website and you'll get the information on how to register. Hope to see more of you there. So now's the time in our service where we want to express our gratitude. And thank you for giving. Thank you for giving, and please continue to support your Unity Church and staff. And continue to give from your heart, from your love of Unity Truth Teachings. As we do all know, we still have a building here that needs to be maintained. And you can do that after the service, going up to the website and clicking on Give and filling out whatever you feel that is important for you to share with your Unity family. It is all held in love. We also ask you to hold, that's a tangible gift. That's a tangible gift that you give from your heart. But we also want to share some intangible gifts. So think about an intangible gift that you want to share out into the universe today. Gift of love, harmony, justice, peace, compassion. Hold those intangible gifts in your heart. And repeat after me our blessing with Carolyn. Divine love flowing as me.
Divine love flowing as me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am and have.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am and have.
All that I give and receive.
All that I give and receive.
And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen.
So we're now going to sing our Unity Peace song, followed by the prayer of protection, and then a final song by Carolyn. So I'm going to move the camera over to Carolyn as you lead us in our peace song. Thank you, Carolyn, and I hope all of you at home were singing along, Let It Begin With Me. And so now we're going to say our prayer for protection. I'm going to say a line and have Carolyn repeat it. Please join Carolyn in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God.
The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us. I am the power of God.
The power of God protects us. I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God.
The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God.
And wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Reverend Paul Hasselbeck for sharing his wisdom with us today. And remember, if you do have a prayer request, you can send that in email to prayerrequest@unityhartford.org, and the prayer chaplains will hold your prayer in confidentiality for 30 days. I also want to thank our office manager, Tony Bensko, for being our sound master today, and of course, the wonderful and amazing Carolyn Fisher, who has one more song with us. Until next week, blessings to you all.
This last song is by Eddie Watkins, and it's called I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. And it's pretty easy to pick up, so I hope you get to sing with me. Thank you so much for joining us this Sunday. We love you and appreciate you, and we'll see you next